Greetings in the divine name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the First, Jah Rastafari, and I Divine Mother Empress Menen, and I the children of Jah Rastafari, represented for the Ankh Nation family. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in I sight, O Jah. Once again, give thanks and lending ears so I can articulate Rastafari. This word sound is just, I just a pray or I reflect on certain vibrations, within I journey. Now this jungle that we call life in relation to, as usual, always through the lens of Rastafari. And allow me to share some thoughts of this vibration here. Alright. One love. Oneness in diversity is all a scam. If there was such a thing as one love, why black people remain servants to the world without equity or equality within the system of white supremacy? Why don't they fix the wrong they have done if it's one love? Rastafari is about the survival of the Ankh Nation family, so-called Africa, black people. Why one love is the duty of black people, especially when I the people who does not lack love. Our issue is survival, not love. Rastafari stretch forth I answer the four corners of the earth where black people reside, answering the call of where's the black man God? I answered His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the First, Jah Rastafari is the black man God without apology. Your God is obligated to you for protection and provision activated through you, your divine blackness, Jah Rastafari. All other nations God work through them. Black people is the only set of people whose God is external to them. This causes a dependent psychology. For now you look to external forces to solve issues instead of internal to cultivate solution. When you and your God are one, your God can only work through you. No other God can save you, because those gods are committed to the nations who create them. Jewish God works through Moses for Jews. Christian God is for Christians. Islam God works through Prophet Muhammad for Muslims. The reason why black people submit to these gods is because of conquest, evolved into traditions. Before these gods, who were your gods? They have destroyed your literature, so now I have to reclaim in the name of Jah Rastafari, I God. It is the will of the conquerors imposing their gods on your physical and mentally, making you a believer. Why were these people able to impose their will? Tribalism, divisive psychology that were exploited by these northern recessive aggressive people. How? Because these people came organized and centralized, marks behind their gods. No tribe can survive an organized structure/system. And this is what these northern recessive aggressive people got over us. They are organized and centralized about their survival. Important to fix and write the future from I past flaws. As a people, collectively, no more separation, one accord in all things through organization and centralization of all of I resources. God, law, land, air, water, people, Jah Rastafari. Now, the word sound here is, like I say, I pray And today a Sunday, and I was raised in a Christian society and go church too. But as I evolve in this jungle we call life, and I observe or I observe the plight of I people, I constantly within thought, within self, I look upon the obstacles. And one of the major obstacles, and we have yet to deal with it. I'm going to show you a thing now. Yeah. Now, within the socialization, I people were socially engineered. And when I say we were socially engineered, I mean they brought captives and turned captives into slaves. But particularly, most of I operate within the system of oppression and domination. So therefore, you was trained or them program you to behave a certain way. And them start out, especially with them God. Because the only thing matter is you submitting. And one of the social engineering processes is this book here. What them call the Bible. And them use this for colonize I mind. And them use, let me show you. Because when I read the book here, you know, I not go by the book by what them want I to believe and accept. I look on the book and I read the book, and then I pose questions and thoughts come within I intuitively. Now, them draw for scriptures where Ephesians 6:5 and I say you must obey your master as God. That means you're total, just like when you submit to God, you submit to the master. Alright. Colossians 3:22-5. Work for master like God. That means if you work for your master like God. It's self-explanatory, right? Now, 1 Timothy 6:1-2. Slave, honor your master. Again, the same process again. That means if you obey your master again like God. These are just different scriptures, you know. 1 Peter 2:18-20, man. Philemon. I never quote that one. But anyway, now, where I find most interesting about the book and them God, because at them give them God, you know, is that an important factor when I recognize is this. When you go into Genesis 2, and I'll talk about the tree of knowledge, and Genesis 3:1-16, and Genesis 2:6-17. For them God, always I try to tell I don't want I to have knowledge. That's what I recognize, because for them God fear knowledge. I come to this conclusion. Because with knowledge, you know. And with knowledge, you can fix. So these are the things them use with for them God now to disconnect you from who you are. Just like how in a society today, them train I to be dependent. They don't want to have I don't even like to use the word sovereignty at all. Sovereign thinking, because when you say independent, you're dependent on something. Sure, so you was dependent on something before you became independent. So I as Rastafari, children have to have sovereignty at heart. Now, in them said Bible, to show you how them Bible reinforces them society and how them want you operate within for them system. Them educate you. Them always are educated, but them don't want to have knowledge. Because when you get knowledge of self, you're going to see how powerful it is. Because with knowledge, again, let me repeat, with knowledge, you can build or destroy. And I as a people operate within an educative process, reinforces them social engineering process will cause I and I to operate a certain way, especially with the divisive mindset. Now, after the Genesis, them going at the Tower of Babel. And when I and I read a story that are in a Genesis 11, 1 to 9. When I and I read a story there again, it's once again show I and I say, them God with them give it, again, fear unity. Because watch it now. Them tell you the story said the man a build for go up to the sky. And when the God or the gods them recognize when man up to them destroy the tower and switch up our language. So we no longer one. Again, oneness is unity. So for them God fear unity. And likewise in them society, them no want I and I to have unity amongst I and I self. So them create all kind of different distractions, all kind of different social norms. And that's why I said the social engineering process. We are now, I and I who came to the diaspora, even within the continent, we're divisive. We are Muslim, we are Christian, we are Jamaican, we are Trinidadian, we are Black American. I am the upper class. And like I say, I give me mention, it cultivate that. Because you're so long, so in close proximity to them, you start mimic them. So no longer you becomes, like I say again, prior before me I say it again, becomes a black skin but your mind white. You have a Western psychology, so everything you do, you operate like them and you don't even realize it. That's why I mentioned the term again, black superiority or Caribbean superiority. I highlight the Black Americans, them, I highlight Jamaicans specifically, because we act like, again, we are the end all be all for everything, especially in the Caribbean region. So these are the things, and all of this come from what? The social engineering process when them educate you. So I know as Rastafari, and I articulate Rastafari and I trod. Excuse me, I trod. And I vibrate and I reason more Rastafari. It's to show the viability of Rastafari. And because everything that has happened to us as a people, I and I have to go back to the drawing board, and I and I have to reclaim. And part of the reclamation is Rastafari. And part of the viability, we say, Jah Rastafari is your God, and we hail the King, His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I the First. It's to show you, say, I know the spookism when them want to teach you. We are sure you say you're divine, you use one with the divine. Even in them book, them tell you that too. Them tell you, say, you was made in the image and likeness of God. And that them teach you, you know. So therefore, what make you stop? Operate like how your father intend you to be. If you're a father of God, you are the children of God. So therefore, if your father is a creator, therefore you're a creator also. So why you stop create? Why you stop act like a creator? Because them start teach you how to operate, them educate you. Socially engineer to operate like a man. So the will of man is to obey and wait upon God. And wait upon your master to tell you what to do. That is the difference between when you vibrate as your creator, intended you to be, becomes one with your creator. And this is why I and I hail the King. Because I and I see the King in his works. And I come to the understanding that the outer sky thing, no. You have to go within the divine, within yourself. And you and the divine are one. Your divine blackness is that which is going to liberate you through unity. Because for them God, again, I tell you, as Genesis 11 show you, them God don't want you to unify. In Genesis 2, them God don't want you to have knowledge. And why we are perished now? Lack of knowledge. Why we are perished now? Lack of unity. because we stop operate like creators. Because we're still creating, but to create for the oppressors. And them utilize our creativity to build themselves. And this is what Rastafari is against. Rastafari wants you to use your creativity to build you. That's why we say one accordance, one God, one aim, one destiny, organized and centralized. That is all about I and I, to become one again. Because we are a fragmented people with a divisive psychology, and Rastafari come to infuse that oneness again within you. So you know who you be, and know so you're capable. You're very much viable. And when we articulate Rastafari to show you say you are viable, and your divine have to work through you. Because like me repeat already, and I say it again, all of the other nations, them, all of the oppressors, the people them dominate and conquer, them come with a God where we represent them. You are the only set of people we don't have your divine because them destroy all of your literature. And like I say, it's a 4,000 year process. Maybe 6,000 if you put the time frame and now within the mix. Are roughly 6,000 years. But it's a slow process. And the reason why they became who they are dominate you now, because them organize and centralize, them unify. Despite them petty differences. Them overs who they are and where them stand. And for them position is all about survival. So I don't want them, you make them educated and tell about one love and all that. Survival time. And once you get into survival, you will become like the Israelis, like Mr. Chin. Because Mr. Chin went through a century what a European imperialism. From about 1839 till 1949 when Mr. Chin go back in himself now and organize around the ideology of Maoism or communism and go back in themselves and rebuild themselves society. And here they are today where economically dominate the world right now. See it? And them use economics to enslave you. Because when them come in your place now, through you're hungry, them give you money. And them now impose them will upon you. Them just give you the money for do it. But them know say, through you're not knowledgeable into the organized structure and running things for yourself, you always are wait. Them know say you're going to fall short. And in falling short now you are indebted to them. So therefore them enslave you economically and that style. And the Sykes. And that's how we there as a people. And this is where Rastafari is again. This is where Rastafari. And come back again to the great Honorable Marcus Garvey. Self-reliance. Collective security. And I father is Imperial Master Emperor Haile Selassie the first. Jah Rastafari come and show and I say organize and centralize. That means oneness. And now you come under a communal order, our Asian principle, where the resources, we use the natural resources in our environment and where we're there for the benefit of all. No individualism. And not put no one on a pedestal for be above. No. We work collectively for the benefit of all of I and I. And this is what Rastafari bring to the table. And this is why I and I come and show you that Rastafari is viable. But at the end of the day, don't make them tricky and give you a God where outside of you. Because that God is not going to help you. Because that God belongs to the enemy, your oppressor. Your God have to work through you. And this is why I and I said, Jah Rastafari. You see where I come from? So this is when I and I, on this day what them call the Lord's Day, Sunday. You know what I mean? The Sunday. Because they go again. Them tricky again. And take an Asian principle and create a character where I tell you about the sun, but them say the S-O-N, the Son of God. You see where I come from? But it's deep. But nonetheless, when I and I articulate Rastafari, for the young ones them, because sometimes the older ones them setting at them we already. But I and I for always I give clarity and validity and I show the viability of Rastafari. And I always emphasize, it is yours. It was birthed out of white oppression and domination from these northern, recessive, aggressive people imposing them will upon you. And therefore, because I as the resistors from them time till now, because I is no slave. And at no time at all I was ever a slave. I was surrounded in a society that's dominated by the oppressor. But nonetheless, I always have I space. And this is why them did label I as maroons. The wild one, the one who refused. The one who refused to make them tame me. I now name Rastafari. And at that I bring to the table. And that is why I talk about the viability of Rastafari. It is yours. And we're not going to move until you have your own. And we start with the viability when we mention Jah Rastafari's Imperial Majesty as I divine. We know enough ones and ones have issue with that, but then again I say because of the educative process or them educate you as a slave. I is no slave. I is sovereign thinking. So when I approach within them oppressive society, I move and I look and intuitively too. Because I read books and get information to eat. Likewise this book here too. Likewise this book here too. Because enough of I Asian principle in it, you know. But guess what? Through them educate we a certain way for what we do. We pray and we wait for a God to come from out of the sky to come fix I issue. So therefore, that makes us ineffective. Because we are waiting for people to do for we. We are praying to other gods. You have your God have to work through you. And your God have a personal. And this is why I come and I tell you about Jah Rastafari. Because you're your own. So we're going to seal it up on that. I'm going to repeat again. Know that Rastafari is yours. They never gave it to you. It came out of them oppression and domination. And you, Rastaman, Rastas, Rastafari, refuse to accept it. And this is why I and I there right now can declare the divineness of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie and declare I and I God Jah Rastafari without apology. Sealer.